Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Mike Shea is in this week as guest co-host, and we talk to Scotty Mays. We talk comedy, pirates, and new Swedish exercises. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
All right, it is Wednesday. It is just a little bit afternoon. It is time for the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. Sitting in the studio, I have a guest co-host this week, Mr. Mike Shea.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
wow.
You're fired.
Wow.
All right, it's been fun. See ya.
Thanks a lot. That is the shortest stint of guest co-host I've ever had. No, from Eventide Entertainment.
Yeah.
Mike Talks Funny.
Yeah.
That's your name of your podcast.
That's the name of my
I'm not making
podcast.
funny.
No, you're good. No, I mean, I do talk funny, but, you know, yeah.
I believe you don't.
And track record.
party
Yeah,
mouth.
I do everything.
You do a little
You
bit
flipping
of
everything, yeah.
Well,
You're a
Eventide
master
does a little bit of
multitasker.
everything.
I am, man. I'm doing two podcasts, a short film, stand up, and still working on that novel that's never going to see the light of day. So I'm just
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's awesome to have things that you never finish.
Yeah, it's great. You feel like you're always working on something, but you never have to.
Never have to accomplish anything.
Exactly, and never could say, "What are you working on now?" Same thing I'm always working on. It'll get there.
Yeah.
It'll get there. It'll be great when it's done.
Yep.
It's never going to be done.
Right. That's the way to do it. That way it's self-importance. You always feel like you're doing something majorly important, but it never gets finished. So you can just perpetually work on it.
Absolutely. Then you're never bored.
Yeah.
Because if you finish it, then you got to figure out what the next thing you're going to do is.
That's true.
And that's a
true.
horrifying thought. Like, what am I going to do next?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of work in progress, my first guest is in the studio.
Yes.
Scotty
Yeah.
Mays, the man, is in the
What's up? Currently under construction, as I like to say. Yes.
Always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Hey, always a pleasure to be here. What up, Raider Nation? Congratulations. Going to the dance.
Yeah.
What? That is awesome.
Yeah.
Sports. And that is the sports segment of the Don.
Yes, that's
Sports
the
ball.
entire
Yeah, but
sports ball. Good job, players of sports game.
You moved the thing to the other thing. You got the points. You did
Better
your job.
than the other sports
Better
team.
than the other sports.
But it's good to be here. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
You've been quite ill for some time.
Yeah.
I don't mean mentally.
I'm mentally
that
ill
too.
as well.
But that never stopped anybody from being on this show.
True. As a matter of fact, I
That's-
just took my depression pants off in the car and put on my happy pants. So,
What?
which by that, there are no pants.
I was going to say, since
Perfect.
when do we wear pants in here, Scotty?
True. Very true.
By the way, come on by the station. There's a big
Exactly.
window so you can see what all the pants we're not wearing.
Actually, I was going to say come by the station because I do have some Wiley's
Oh.
tickets
Oh,
to give
yeah.
away today. I
Tickets.
have a handful of tickets because I know there's some housing event or something going on here on campus. So if you're here for the housing event, come by, get some tickets to Wiley's. We got some great shows coming up. Including next Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. Next Thursday, March 15th, the first ever Life Radio Show presents the night of comedy with Adrian Cosby headlining. He's a local comic, very funny man. I believe a Wright State alum, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's your connection. See, it all ties together. But yeah, stop by the station. If you're just walking by the station now, pull one of your headphones out of your ear,
Right.
turn around, and you can get tickets.
And smile a little bit.
And smile a
Don't
little
look so
bit.
miserable.
You're still a
You're in
student.
school.
Yeah,
Take
life
off the
isn't
blue
that
jacket.
bad
That's
yet.
making you
School
sad.
is cool.
Yeah, it's after you graduate you're allowed to walk around being that miserable. So
Oh.
until then.
Yeah, you got to earn that right.
Yeah.
That's a privilege you have to earn. And
Exactly. You see, I seem like a happy person in here. I leave. I put my head through walls. That's basically all I do most of the day is I find walls and put my head through them.
Well, you do HVAC. So
Exactly. Well, yeah, you got to look through and make sure none of the duct work's clogged up.
You're killing
stuff
two birds
like
with
that.
one
Yeah.
stone. You're checking you're checking the vents, and you're also dying inside. So.
Well, yeah, that's and who isn't these days?
I mean, come on. We're all a little dead
This
inside.
is a feel-good show today.
I already feel better about myself.
That's why we're
by
here.
association.
That's why I invited you, because I want you to feel better.
You knew, too. For some reason, you just knew.
Yeah. Well, we all need a pick-me-up every now and then.
Yeah.
And if my misery helps you out, then hey, I'm happy. Oh, I mean, I'm not. But
You're not happy, but I'm happy that I'm not you. That's what you're trying to say. I got it.
Really, we're losing connection again. Hey, Patrick, if you're listening out there, Patrick is our
he's a saint.
engineer. Patrick's awesome, but the internet connections connection's down again. So hopefully we're still broadcasting out on the air, but it looks like while we were dying inside, our internet connection was just dying altogether.
Can you see my inside death?
And now it's trying to tell me to take a top of the hour break. I just started the show. This is going to be a good
This is how
day.
quickly.
It's like you need to. Oh, okay. It was Patrick. He's screwing around out there. Hey, thanks for
Thanks, Patrick.
And he's going to get it fixed because that's what he does. He's awesome.
He's a saint. Saint Patrick.
Saint Patrick.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
His day's coming up.
Your
day's coming. That's not a threat.
Your days are numbered, sir.
I had to think about it for a second. Like okay. Oh, that way. Okay.
That's probably not good to broadcast that over the air.
I'm pretty sure St. Patrick was on the giving end of those murders, but, whatever. We won't talk about that.
Well, in his honor, we'll all go drink some green beer and
I wish. I
pretend we're Irish
got to
for
work
24
tonight,
hours.
so I can only drink 10 or 12 before.
At least you picked an even number to stop. Either 10 or 12.
I don't like odd numbers. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
If I drink an even number, then I wake up without a hangover. If I drink an odd number, actually, I hardly ever drink it. It's like, well, I think we're all in recovery here, except for Mike. He's got. Well, you might not make your LARPing this.
No, I'm
this
not.
time.
I know I'm definitely not.
That's terrible.
Is
We'll
this
have
the pirate?
to.
Yeah. Well,
Somebody steal your booty?
No. I had to burn all my vacation time at the beginning of the year because of a family thing, and my brother's getting married the week after the event, and so I'm not going to be able to save up enough vacation time to do both. So I guess I'll go to my brother's wedding.
Go to your brother's wedding, drunk and in costume.
He actually mentioned like the idea of me roasting him at the reception, and I thought about it, but I figured
it's a bad idea.
Wedding comedy shows, as you well know,
yes, I've done one. It's
just aren't good. The only one I ever did that was any good was because it was two comics getting married, and most of the guests were comics, so the whole thing turned into a roast.
Right.
That was fine because everybody was kind of in on it, but her, my brother's fiance, her family is all Southern Baptist. Our family is all conservative Catholic. There's no way to come out of that like with my dignity intact.
No.
What little dignity I have left. So
you'd be better off just dressing as a pirate and getting rum drunk.
At least then they'd find me interesting.
Right.
That'd be a terrifying reception to go to. Southern Baptists and Catholics, like Catholics openly drinking, Southern Baptists going to the bathroom to drink.
and a pirate running around with a hook. Do you wear a hook when you pirate?
I do not. No,
you should.
I should.
It should be a hook with an attachment that's like a beer stein. That's what you need.
That is probably one of the best. I'm going to make that for next year. That's one of the best ideas I've heard all day.
There you go. We'll market it. We'll even-tied beer stein hook.
Even-tied beer stein.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah. Even-tied beer stein.
Robert jump on
that's
that.
New thing. Yeah.
Shout out to Robert, by the way, who does all of our graphic stuff, does most of our web hosting. That dude works so flipping hard for no money.
And that's the best kind of.
It is. Whenever somebody has an idea for something, it's like, hey, Robert, can you make it? And that dude's got a wife and a kid and an actual.
For now.
For now. And he's just kind of like, yeah, I can do that. I mean, I was planning on spending some time with the family, but I guess I can go make a logo for your podcast. But
there'll be plenty of time to spend with the family when you're dead.
Yeah, he's fine.
Live a little.
Right. Yeah. Prop you up in a vase right on the shelf. You'll be there every day. Right.
Exactly. Just like spending time in the radio station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old third place trophy for chili cook-off. Let's put this man's ashes right on top of this.
That's how you want to be remembered, as third place Hey, there's a lot of people walking by the station
Who
right
wants
now.
tickets?
Anybody want
Got some
tickets
tickets
to
for you.
Wiley's? Like
Tickets.
I said, turn around.
Wow, I feel like
They just keep
street
on
side.
Don't you
Yeah.
judge us with your
ticket
judging
scalper.
eyes.
Well,
Who needs
I have
tickets?
I have a sandwich board if you want to go out in the hallway and just walk back and forth.
Well, they heard housing event, and there's like 800 homeless people out here right now, and I don't think
really?
that's what they were
Cool,
talking
cool.
about.
No,
There's
that's-
also a
no,
parking
that's
lot
fine.
full
We'll
of
take
cops. Did you see the cop cars out in the
I
parking
did
lot?
not.
Yeah,
I
I
did
did.
not.
Yeah, I was like, do I have a warrant? Because
Yeah, I was gonna
every
say,
county is here.
I guess we should be a little more careful what we talk about. So anyway, where were we? I don't think we
chili
were
cook-off.
anywhere.
Chili
cook
cook-off
off
and ashes
And-
on a trophy.
And pirate wedding receptions.
Pirate hooks.
Yeah,
and-
so basically where we are this time every
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Nowhere in particular, but everywhere at once. That's awesome. So Scotty,
Yes, sir.
how have you been?
Hey.
I know you've been ill.
Yeah,
and
I've
you're,
been ill. You know, life's throwing some curveballs at me right now, but I'm trying to roll with the punches. I'm tired.
The mohawk is withstanding.
Yes,
all which
yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
And
I
it's-
actually had a moment yesterday where I almost shaved it off.
Oh,
No.
no.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
Buildings would crumble.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
That'd be like me without a beard.
I've seen it.
Which-
Don't
yeah,
do
we've
that
all
again.
seen that.
We've seen
Yeah.
it, and it's not pretty.
yeah.
Don't do that again.
It's like,
The beard is what makes me awesome. That's that's my power.
honestly, Don, it's your personality that makes you awesome.
Thank you.
Cue the elevator music. Like,
Well, with
Do
you,
I need to
it's
leave the
mostly
room? Give you
mohawk.
guys a minute.
we just stop at the hair. With you,
We'll just
Scotty.
stop it. Well, that's so much awesome just on top of your head. We don't even need to go further to
That's-
explore.
Yeah,
No.
you don't want to know how much more awesome it can get.
We can't handle it. We can't handle that level of awesome once we get past the mohawk. So do you have any shows coming up? I guess we can get
Hey.
on to some important things.
Yeah, so there's this fun thing starting tonight for all the Dayton
yes.
comics. It's the
We can't-
comedy fight.
Shh.
Oh yeah.
No, but yeah,
So there's this,
it's rumored. It's rumored that there's a comedy fight club of sorts.
Right. You know, and I think
it's
it's
like
getting misinterpreted by some local comics. Like, I mean, if that's what there could be some ass whoopings tonight, and
That's fine.
disappointment.
That's fine. And I'm disappointed that I won't be able to be there and whoop some myself
Yes,
or get mine whooped because I mean every now and then.
no, it's confidence. Just like when you're on stage doing comedy,
well, no,
you have to go up
I'd
there
say
with that
sometimes
element
it's enjoyable.
to get your own ass whipped.
Yes, absolutely. Because you can always look at it and say, at least I'm not at a hookah bar getting roasted by a 16-year-old girl. Was anybody present for that?
You know, that's I wasn't at that one. No,
A friend of mine was there and got video of it. I'm still waiting for him to send it to me because I want to see.
that's a great workout room,
Yes.
though. By the way,
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It
Oh,
is.
it's awesome.
I think I've done that once or twice back when Joe Young was running.
Yeah, because I live around the corner from that, and before I was on nights, that was one of my favorite ones to go to. That and believe it or not, Patterson Pub was fun. Just a great crowd work room, and
I'm trying to remember.
I never had an
it's literally
opportunity
next
to
door
go there.
to the Hookah
Yeah.
Bazaar.
Yeah.
It's on that corner, but they just stopped doing it because nobody goes to.
Because I actually
Patterson
filmed
Pub.
a movie right around the corner. From
Oh, is that where
Yeah,
you?
the Partners? If it's
Oh,
still,
really?
If it's still there, I'm not sure if Partners Bar is still on the corner there,
I think so.
Patterson.
Maybe.
But yeah, we filmed a movie that never got finished,
Mm.
which was a lot of fun, but never got. I'm going to have to get together with the guy that wrote it and see if we want to try to redo it again.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
It was a fun movie.
Friday I'll be down in Cincinnati at Goodies doing a show. Mark Shalafo.
Shalafo, yeah, I think it's French.
Very, very
Mark
funny.
C.
Yeah, Mark C. The French.
Yeah, he'll be headlining that show that night. That's going to be fun. Kevin Smith will be there. Jack
Yeah, well,
Wright.
I missed Mark when he was at Wiley's
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. I think I was there when he closed out the Sunday
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
but I missed him when he was
He's
headlining
funny.
that weekend.
Because he was on the Sunday show that we were on.
Yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, I think that's the last one I sat all the way through.
You got most of the way through that one, I think.
Yeah.
You left right after Scotty went up, I think.
No,
Yeah,
he
I
left
think so.
before
Or
I went
right,
up.
right
Was it
before.
before you
Yeah.
went up?
Yeah,
That
you always
might be
leave before
why.
my set.
That might be why.
And I think
Well,
I
like
have
I said,
Damn, Don.
I was there to see the Mohawk. I didn't want to go further. That was too much.
I think I have a bearing out in my shake weight.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not
no.
good. That's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
That's how you lose an eye, right there. That's one of your bearings in your shake.
Well, it happens to all men at a certain age. They lose a bearing in their shake weight.
There's a level of acceptance going on in my life right now. So,
but you still need to get you the squat master.
Oh yeah, Ed John was supposed to hook me up with that, but he's moving to New York.
Yeah, Ed John is heading to Jersey, and going to be trying to yuck it up in New York City.
Good for him.
That's what I say, because that takes a lot of guts to do, to just say, okay, I'm making a comfortable living. Let's stop that. Let's stop that and see how far I can go with this thing. And
he's leaving in a red Mercedes. He'll probably come back to Dayton in a red
Geo.
Chevette. Chevette. Like a 78 Chevette.
Man, I had to sell it.
Just twitching, talking about kneecaps all the time. I know he gets a lot of crap. I love the kneecap bit. I really do. I think it's funny. Yeah, but I mean, look where I'm at. So
I don't dislike the kneecaps joke. I just like to talk about it when Travis Charles is around, because he just goes nuts.
He hates that joke so much. And just watching him and Ed give each other crap back and forth is better than any. Honestly, like, I'd pay money just to watch the two of them.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss Ed.
Yeah, I know. Travis is too. He'll never say.
Hopefully we'll see him. Hopefully we'll see him again, not coming back with his tail between his legs, but coming back to headline.
Hey, and there's an element of humbleness, even if he does have to come back. You know what? At least he tried.
Yeah, exactly.
And none of us do.
But I wish him nothing but success.
Yeah, so that's a funny guy. He's one of the first dudes I met when I moved here and started performing again. So yeah, I got nothing but love for him.
Yep. But enough about
him. Really sappy. About him now. This just got really sappy.
But enough about him. Do you have any shows coming up, Mike?
Well, I've got
of course the podcast.
The podcast every Tuesday and Wednesday. Scotty and I are doing a show in DeGraff, Ohio, April
7th,
14th, 8th.
There's a lot of shows coming up.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. Shout out to Brooks for booking most of them too.
Yeah.
But we've got a show coming up in DeGraff at the Tamulin Inn. It's going to be me, Scotty, Mike Wells, Eric Busio, Brooks Robinson, and is Joey Pye on that one?
Yes.
Joey Pye on that one. So we're going to be doing that one. Other than that, I don't have anything else other than just every Monday at Ollie's hosting that and running that gig.
I'm hoping to get back on a day shift soon so I can, because I've never been to Ollie's.
Ollie's is a good room just for crowd work.
Yeah.
It's Monday at a bar, and we're trying to kind of get more people to come in there on a Mondays, because a lot of folks, first of all, there's an Ollie's retail store in Dayton, and they get at least 5 calls a day of, you're like, yeah, hey, you guys carry like converter boxes? It's like, well, I'm sure Ollie's, the retail store, does. This is Ollie's, craft beer and whiskey. So no, we don't. They should
start carrying that way.
Oh yeah, that way they can bring people in, and because my grandparents will come visit, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're doing stand up at a retail store?"
Yeah, we're there.
It's like, yeah, I set up a little stage on some pallets with some bottled water, and talk through a cardboard paper towel tube. And
I've seen comedy done in a vintage clothing store.
Yeah, yes, true. Anything's possible these days.
I've even seen it out in front of a vintage clothing store on the street with a bunch of drunks walking by. That's
one of these days. I'll have the cojones to try that one out.
It's a frightening prospect. That's actually one of the last shows I did. That's not the reason I haven't done a show in 6 months.
I did a show out on a street in front of a clothing store and realized maybe I should take a break.
This is it for me. Doesn't get any better than this, guys.
Heckled by homeless dudes across the street.
No, that's kind of a fun show, but it's kind of like a lot of bar shows. You just gotta kind of take it for what it is. You're working on stuff.
Well, and props to Aaron for having the creativity to think, what would be great for this clothing store? Let's do a comedy show on the sidewalk in front of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron's a very creative man.
Jeez. That dude doesn't have an off switch. Like, I've seen him show up to Ollie's with a little plastic children's toy that makes laughter and applause sounds and do his own crowd reaction on stage. And it's one of the funniest things you'll ever see.
That's awesome.
I love that guy. When are we going to start talking about us?
I thought we were.
We keep talking about other people.
I know,
that we love.
Well, tell us about you, Scotty.
There's really nothing to know about me that you don't already know.
That's why we talk about other people.
I'm going through a divorce, so that's a thing.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, right.
Mine was great.
Yeah. You look happy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I don't know. It's kind of.
Well, I remarried because I'm trying to,
So now I'm going to get these messages
trying
like,
to have
"Oh my
some
God, I can't
semblance
believe
of
you're talking
happiness,
about it on
so.
radio." Well, there's 6 people listening, so
That's hurtful, Scotty.
well, I only have 4
There's
here.
I've got 1.
Well, we're offline, so we don't. So there may be way less than that.
Thank God we record this show and put it back up on Friday.
Yeah, because we do get more listeners on. Actually, more listeners that are even tied than we do through my podcast
Really?
feed. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's been.
I mean, of course you do, because we're awesome. I didn't mean to sound so shocked.
Right.
Like,
Well, it's been 3 years of absolute hell doing this show. I can't get anybody to promote nothing. So yeah, there you go. No, we do okay. We're doing okay.
yeah.
For a show that, well, the podcast's only been going for a little over a year now, and one of the things I was told, if you're always consistent with your podcast, you'll build a following, because that's one of the things. A podcast will stop posting, and they'll lose most of their listeners.
Trying to get them back is hell.
It's been a year and 2 months now, I have broadcast every single Tuesday and Friday, and I got the same amount of listeners I had when I started. So somebody's lying to me.
Oh, man.
But I appreciate them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Even when if you only got 5, those are your favorite 5.
Oh yeah, those are the 5 greatest people there are.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.
Hey, I headlined a show with only 2 people left in the room, so that's
God.
When you started or when you finished?
right when I started. Oh man,
yeah, I've done some shows with I've done some shows at Cats where there were 14 comics and 1 non-comic in the audience.
Oh, sounds like Ollie's.
Yeah, which can be kind of fun. We had fun doing that the one night, because it became more of a not really a roast. It was more of sarcastic applause and laughter.
Mm-hmm.
The worse joke you told, the louder the crowd got in response, because it was all comics that were making fun of you telling a really dumb joke, which was fun.
That's how Ollie's kind of usually turns into because we do the comics hang on Sundays before open mic starts. Ollie's usually kind of turns into like a secondary one of those where it's mostly comics in the room, so you're going up telling bits, and you got Mike Wells in the back going, "Keep it."
Well, yeah, that can work too, because that's what it's all about, is finding out what works and what doesn't, and then once you find something that works, you go on stage and it doesn't.
Yeah. I like using a show like Ollie's to practice riffing and crowd work, because that's probably one of my weaker spots as a comic.
Same
I'm
here.
not great
that's
at
why
it.
I need to get back into. I need to get back on day shift so I can start doing that again.
Yeah. So it's a good one to just go and pick on the people that are there. Usually you can make fun of Nick Taylor's man bun, get a couple of cheap laughs out of that.
Yeah.
And
well, that man bun's full of cheap laughs.
oh yeah, Dwayne Howard shows up, make fun of his bow tie. Jimmy Market walks in and make fun of his stutter. You get some cheap laughs, you walk off stage.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds fun to me.
It's great.
All right, we're going to go ahead and hit the comedy rundown and take a little break. Let me cue up some music first, so we don't do the comedy rundown then have absolutely nowhere to go with it. And since Scotty's here, it's going to have to be it's going to have to be Potter's Field.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Taking that off of there, so it just tried to send that out over the air a little bit without me being in control, which, I mean, that's never going to happen on this show. Anyway, here's this week's Comedy Rundown, brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Wednesday, March 7th, Comedy Fight Club open mic at Ohio Chiefs, a.k.a. Jays and Jeans, apparently at 1124 Leo Street in Dayton. Sign-ups for that are at 7:30, and that's all I can say, which is probably too much, because that's just
You've already said enough, Don.
That's just rumored anyway. Anyway, Thursday, March 8th, open mic at the Hookah Bazaar at 958 Patterson Road in Dayton. That show starts at 10 p.m. Sign-ups for stage time start at 9:30. Also on Thursday, in honor of Susan Carr Bump, Dayton Funny Bone presents Brooke Cardis, along with Wendy Ferguson and Karen Jaffe, hosted by Lori Graves. That ought to be a great show right there. Friday and Saturday, March 9th and 10th, Lil Duval is at the Dayton Funny Bone. And also March 9th and 10th, Friday and Saturday, Jeff Bodart's going to be at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. Sunday, March 11th, Wiley's Sunday Comics is at Wiley's Comedy Club. That show starts at 8 p.m. with all your favorite locals. And also Sunday, March 11th, Rod Paulette is at the Dayton Funny Bone. That is it. I also want to mention again the March 15th show next Thursday, the first ever Life Radio Show presents with local favorite Adrian Cosby. Get out there and check him out. Go online to www.wileyscomedy.com and purchase your tickets. Now, whatever you're doing, just stop it. Go online and purchase your tickets. As always,
Pornhub. You can come back to it.
Well, yeah, pause.
Let it finish buffering.
You can pause Pornhub. I wouldn't recommend having Pornhub up while you're putting your information in to purchase something, because that's how people get your credit card. Anyway, as always, check out wileyscomedy.com, DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. And with all that having been spat right out at you, I'm going to go ahead and play a little Potter's Field, and we will be back here shortly.
If there's one thing that's true about wrestling fans, it's how much they like to talk about wrestling. Join Aaron Lopez and Ben Norsworthy for the Top Rope Wrestling Podcast.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Tune in every episode and be ringside as these two break down all of the big matches in the world of professional wrestling. Brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
All right, we're back on the live radio show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in with my guest co-host for the week, Mike Shea, and our guest for this hour, and probably sticking around to hang out.
Yeah, I'm going to hang out.
Just because he loves it here. It's like his home away from home.
Well,
Scotty
I'm
Mays.
homeless, so this has to be my home away from home.
Yeah, so it's not even a home away from home. It's just
right now.
home.
This is my home.
Well, it's good to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks.
We got the couch over there. I've heard it's fairly comfortable. So.
Yeah, it looks comfortable. It doesn't really look that comfortable, actually. It looks like something you'd see in a doctor's office.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Where do you think they got it from?
Not in the therapist's office though. Those are fairly comfortable.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because I started seeing a therapist a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations!
And I went in, and it just happens to be in the same office as the first place I went to have my prostate checked. I'm not
couch,
sure
too. Wow,
yeah, exactly. I'm not sure whether I'm comforted or creeped out by that. It's like, man, you got your fingers in everything, don't you?
Yeah. Like, we're not going to bend you over the couch this time. You just lay down.
We just want to talk. Hi, Roger. That's guys from the HVAC shop out there. Anyway, what's that?
What about the guy we didn't say?
Oh, that was Tom. Tom and Roger. I just haven't seen Roger in a while. What were we talking about?
You getting your prostate checked.
Like, okay. Important stuff. Everything was fine, by the way. With that, going and see the psychiatrist, it was not quite as. No, it was good. She told me I should probably be on medication.
Oh, that was nice of her.
And I punched her. No, I can't. No, it was good. It was just weird that happened to be the same, not the same exact office, but the same little group, the same suite number in the building. And that's when I was sitting there, because when they first told me over the phone that's where it would be, it didn't really click. And then I sat there, I was like, I've been here before.
And then you were triggered, the PTSD.
Exactly. It's like, that's why she set up shop in here.
Yes. Nurse comes out, Mr. Smith, don't touch my butt.
Yeah. Stay away.
You were sitting in there like, I can't quite put my finger on
Yep. Yep. Great. Now you're going to probe my mind. Getting me from both ends.
Was it a psychologist or a psychiatrist?
It was just a therapist. I don't think it was actually.
That's how they get you. So you pay money to see a therapist, and then they send you to somebody else to give you the medicine.
Well, yeah. Well, it's actually free though. I would
free medicine?
To see the therapist.
Oh, okay.
I get so many free sessions.
Free sessions.
It's a way they
and
try
she's
to
like,
keep
you're going to exceed your free sessions.
Oh,
yeah.
It's
a little bit deeper.
It's a way at work where they trying to keep you from going nuts. And every now and then it's good to talk to somebody. Yeah. Absolutely.
True story.
Yeah, but anyway, should we do some news stories?
Absolutely.
News stories.
Are we ready for news
There's
stories?
There's got to be somebody out there way worse than what I am in my life.
Oh yeah. A group of women in Oaxaca.
Oaxaca,
Mexico, recently had a marriage ceremony that was truly tremendous. All the grooms were trees. The blushing brides were all activists. The mass marriage was meant to draw attention to illegal logging, a serious problem in Mexico where a third of the land area is covered by forest. Tree bride Dolores Lecigi said the ceremony was a serious statement about the planet's future. Quote, marrying a tree is a way of protesting to say we need to stop exterminating Mother Earth every day, every minute, every second. The marriages aren't legally aren't legally binding, but tree bride Andrea Tanat said getting hitched to a tree still requires a serious commitment, and they should be committed. Hold on. They married trees. So you're going through, as a man going through a divorce, would you marry a tree?
That's out there in the world as an option now, Scotty. So,
I've never been one for wood, except my own. But here's the thing. The depletion.
Well, when you're just lumbering along through life,
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Can I have your therapist's phone number?
absolutely.
You know, the depletion of trees.
I'll give you my proctologist phone number too.
Actually, give me that number first.
But that's actually Dr. Wu.
Woo!
Not a joke. That is her name.
It's a
Dr.
her.
Wu. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She's a petite Asian woman with small fingers because I know how to pick them if I'm going to proctologist.
All right. Unless she just got her nails done, then you're like,
yeah. That's true. That's true.
So, you know, she was speeding.
Go get him.
You know, the depletion
Pull
of...
them over. Give them tickets.
I noticed
So
you were running through the hallways. Have a ticket. You know what? I'm not even... No. We're done with the tree one. Next story.
Yep. Oh, okay, let's see. In Saudi Arabia, camels paraded down a dusty racetrack as judges rated the size of their lips, cheeks, heads, and knees.
Size of their camels.
Crowds of men watched from bleachers, hooting when the beast representing their own tribe loped down the track. A dozen beasts have been disqualified from this year's Saudi Camel Beauty Contest.
The toe on that camel was way too big.
because their handlers used Botox to make them more handsome. Botox camel. Chief judge of the show explained, the camel is a symbol of Saudi Arabia. We used to preserve it out of necessity. Now we preserve it as a pastime. Much is changing in Saudi Arabia. The country is getting its first movie theater. Soon women will be permitted to drive. The authorities eventually hope to diversify the economy away from oil. That has been its lifeblood for decades. Probably ain't going to happen. But as they seek to transform the conservative kingdom, the Saudi authorities are trying to smooth the path for reform by emphasizing traditional aspects of their culture. For example, camel beauty.
Nothing screams tradition.
Exactly.
Like a camel walking down some sand and doing a little turn on the catwalk. Oh, yeah, on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk.
Oh, wow. He just went right, said Fred on us.
I'm too sexy for my hump, apparently.
Those lovely camel humps. Those humps.
Yes. But don't Botox your camel.
No, or the camel's toe. Do not Botox the camel's toe. And here is the thing. You know, the camel's also a symbol in America as well for cigarettes.
Yeah, Joe Camel.
So, yeah.
You think he's had Botox?
I'm sure he has.
I'm sure he has, because he hasn't really changed a lot in the cartoon version. If you cover the top of his head, just looks like a penis. So he's had some work done.
Well,
you don't maintain that.
He doesn't have that sweet Flintstones money coming in anymore. So,
well, all these years, and there hasn't really been any droopage. So
that's
you
true.
know
that's
he's
true.
That is a camel that's getting some Botox right there.
Yeah, he's had some work done.
Oh yeah. Moving on.
Yes.
A self-proclaimed psychic was sentenced on Wednesday to 26 months in prison after admitting that she tried to avoid paying taxes on over $3.5 million that she received from an elderly Massachusetts woman seeking to cleanse herself of demons.
Oh, low-hanging fruit coming up here.
Do I go with bet she didn't see that coming?
Sally Ann Johnson.
Somebody had to say it.
Exactly. Yep. Sally Ann Johnson, 41 years old, was sentenced by the U.S. District Judge Denise Casper in Boston, who said the evidence suggested the psychic took advantage of the Martha's Vineyard resident as the woman began to suffer from dementia. There is a strong inference of fraud here, Casper said. She ordered Johnson to repay the woman nearly $3.57 million she received from 2007 to 2014 and to pay $725,912 in restitution to the U.S. government for taxes she avoided paying. So it wasn't income because she has to pay it all back, but the government still wants their cut. Johnson, who never passed the second grade, calls herself a spiritual consultant. She pleaded guilty in October and trying to impede the administration of tax laws. In court, she apologized for that conduct, but apparently not for defrauding an older lady with dementia out of $3.5 million.
We could all be spiritual consultants.
Right?
That's like 7 years to cleanse that house.
Hey.
From 2007 to 2014, she worked on you. At what point does somebody say, you know what? I thought I silenced the cell phone.
Go ahead and
Nice
answer it.
ringtone.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
who
might as well
this
just
is.
answer. It
Hold
might be
on a
Hey
second.
Jay.
Hold on a second. Yeah, might be important. Hello. It is, and I'm on the air. Who's this? No, you're because you called my cell phone. So okay. Okay, hold on just a second. Can you guys talk about news?
I sure can. We'll talk
we
about
will.
it.
Let's see. All right,
cool.
you got there, Mike. So we just finished the psychic second grader.
She has to pay $3.57 million back plus $725,000 in restitution. That money has been spent. That's not getting paid
it's
back.
way gone.
That's
Yeah.
gone.
Yep.
Let's see here. Switzerland has banned the common culinary practice of throwing fresh lobsters into boiling water as part of an overhaul of its animal protection rules. Live crustaceans, including the lobster, may no longer be transported on ice or in water. Aquatic species must always be kept in their natural environment. Crustaceans must now be stunned before killing them, says the rules adopted by the government on Wednesday that will take effect in March. The regulations also aim to crack down on illegal puppy farms, outlaw automatic devices that punish dogs for barking, spell out conditions for putting down sick or injured animals, and make organizers responsible for animal welfare at public events. We have to stun the lobsters before killing them.
Right.
So, just show them like the current, state of the Dow Jones,
Oh, yes.
and then we can kill them.
To me, this sounds like we're all eating salads.
Basically. My thought is these animals have been around since the age of the dinosaurs. I think they've been stunned enough just in the millions of years.
Right.
We used to hang out with giant lizards. Now we hang out with people with colored hair on their head and who put metal through their ears. But that's not.
You're like, how would you like if somebody put you in boiling water? Well, that's a jacuzzi.
Right?
So,
We do
I
it
would
to ourselves to
very much
relax.
appreciate
So-
that.
Are we talking about live lobster boiling?
We're talking about live lobster
okay,
boiling.
because
Yeah.
I barely remember that.
I just remember the
news
scene in
story.
Ernest Goes to Camp and the chef dipping the stethoscope into the boiling pot in there and the screaming lobster.
The Swiss
Because
are
it's
not.
not as fun if you don't hear it.
Of course. The Swiss are not alone in trying to protect lobsters from what activists call, quote, cruel treatment in the kitchen. Neighboring Italy's highest court ruled in June that lobsters must not be kept on ice in restaurants because it causes them unjustifiable suffering before they're dipped into a vat of boiling water and consumed by hungry Italians.
Well, you would think if they keep them cool like that, it would be that much quicker. When you throw them in the boiling water, they're going to die that much quicker.
It's like the turkey thing. You make sure they're happy before you kill them. You don't want them stunned and
Nobody wants to eat a depressed turkey.
No, not at all. Not at
makes
all.
the meat taste bad.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody wants a cheerful turkey,
Of course.
before they chop
Hey,
its
the
head
Swiss have bigger problems on their hands than this petty lobster fest.
They gotta fix all the holes in their cheese.
What problems do the Swiss have?
All these years, they still have not figured out how to not have holes in their cheese.
That's true. That's true.
So,
That's they should repair that. They should repair the
and the army knife's too
they
complicated.
tried, and it's just as it ages that it gets holes because baby Swiss doesn't have. I mean, it just has tiny pores in it.
Well, it hasn't gone through puberty yet. Those pores haven't opened up.
Exactly.
And-
Yeah. That once
this
they get
is
all
the
the
Swiss pubescent
Yeah.
cheese.
prepubescent Swiss cheese.
I gotta get my hands on some of that," said Michael Jackson.
That's funny.
That's good stuff right there. Keep it.
Keep it.
Seen Mike Wells recorded on my
He
phone,
needs to
and
sit on the couch back there and
we'll
just
record
shout
it, make a
that out.
sound effect out of it. You hit the keep it button
Yeah,
whenever
keep it.
someone's
Yeah.
on the show.
Yep. You know how rarely I would use that. That'd be like the first time in 3 years I got to use that. Staff at an animal shelter in Canada are stunned after a local family adopted a potbelly pig as a pet, then slaughtered it and ate it weeks later. First reaction, I'd say, was shock. Heartbreak, said British Columbia Society Prevention of Animal Cruelty employee Leon Davis. The animals that come through our care,
He's reading it wrong.
Yeah, something happened here. I got the page turned upside down. All the animals that come through our care or branches. Okay, this is just who wrote this? Who wrote this quote? Who said
Don.
this and who wrote it down? I didn't write it. I stole my news. But anyway, Davis had helped bring Molly, a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig, back to health after she and dozens of other pigs ended up in care of the organization after a cruelty investigation and subsequent rescue. This is kind of a depressing story. Why the hell did I put this on here?
Were those POW camps too? Pigs of war?
Yeah. I guess I put it on there because I like bacon and I was hungry when I was going through the news.
I was just thinking like that.
Shelter workers believe they were sending Molly to a great home, but weeks later, a local woman saw reports on social media indicating the couple had slaughtered and eaten Molly, apparently because they found keeping and training a pet pig to be more work than they could handle. Why would they post that on social media?
Just slaughtered the pig. Hashtag no filter.
Yeah.
Like, did the family slaughter the pig themselves? Like, how creepy is that, neighbor?
Well,
I've slaughtered pigs before.
Right.
But
do
that
you
was
live
for
in
the
a rural
purpose.
neighborhood, though, and you just somebody come over selling Girl Scout cookies and you're in the middle of
Want
slaughtering
some
your
pig?
pig?
Actually, well, it's funny story.
Oh, God.
We used to raise rabbits for food when I was younger. We were and we lived in town because we couldn't raise cattle
Couldn't raise
living in
people.
town. Yeah,
Right.
couldn't raise people. But no, we raised rabbits for food, and we would take them out to the garage for butchering time.
Ooh, that's a hairy situation.
Yes, it is. It is. But their feet are not actually lucky, by the way.
Yeah.
Because if you ever wonder about a lucky rabbit foot, what happened to the rabbit it used to be attached to? But I had a friend that was coming over, and I'm probably about 8, 9, or 10 years old, and I'm helping Dad get ready to clean the rabbits. And since we lived in town, we couldn't exactly shoot them. So I would hold them down, and Dad would bash them with a pipe. And I had a friend. It sounds really bad, doesn't it? But rabbit is delicious. And we made sure they were happy beforehand. So we were. It was quick, believe me. But I had a friend walk in, and I'm holding this little rabbit down on the garage floor, and my friend walks in. He's, again, about 9 or 10 years old, same age as me, and I hear, "Oh, rabbit," right as Dad comes down with that pipe. Dink! And you talk about scarring a kid for life. He ran screaming out of that garage.
Oh, my God.
And finally, after about 20 minutes, he worked up the courage to come back in as we're skinning. Now, here I am holding on to its back legs, and Dad's just peeling the skin.
Oh, my God.
And this kid comes walking back in to try again to show he's not a weakling. And I just look at him and say, "Here, hold this." Dude. Ran around the corner and puked, said, "I got to go home." And I didn't see him for weeks.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, we disturbed a few children in my day. But they were the same age as me, so I don't really see what the problem is.
This whole therapy thing's starting to really make a lot of sense now. Like, it's all coming together.
Exactly.
All the clues are falling into
Well,
place.
like I said, I haven't been on stage for 6 months. I got to let this crap out
You were
somewhere.
You're in back alley skinning rabbits.
Yep, feeding the homeless. Here, buddy. See, if everybody could do that, there wouldn't be a hunger problem in the world. There wouldn't be a lot of rabbits. There wouldn't be a hunger problem.
Definitely be a rabbit shortage.
Yes, but no, we used to raise them for that purpose.
That's weird.
And
I
I'm
had
telling you,
friends that raised
rabbit-
them for 4-H.
Rabbit and dumpling are, 4-H doesn't taste very good. But no, rabbit and dumpling is very delicious.
Oh, no, I enjoy rabbit. I do. I think
I've had deer, never had rabbit.
I've had a little bit of everything.
I encourage people to go out and try different types of game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever been up to Covington at Buffalo Jack's up there?
No.
If you ever want to try alligator, shark, just a little bit of everying, they do have bison meat you can buy up there.
Had bison. Bison's not bad.
Bison's
It's a little
pretty
tougher.
good, yeah.
Camel toe.
I'm sure you can get all that you can
That's
eat.
behind. You'll find that behind the building.
Yep, it's Covington. I'm sure you can find a lot of that up there. Oh, why is it every time you're on we end up talking
about camel toe?
You know, that seems to be
I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that when I started talking about the camel
I
toe
immediately
up there.
thought of that when you started talking.
That's his go-to.
Yeah.
That's his mantra.
Really
Well,
is.
I guess I had that news story written down before I had guests on today's show. So. We got time for one more before we have to take a break. The newest fitness craze is supposed to improve the health of both humans and Mother Earth. It's called plogging.
Oh, because that's better.
You don't even want to know where my mind went on this one.
That's why I put it on here.
Tell me, Don, what's plogging?
It's called plogging, and it requires people to pick up trash while on the run.
That's
yeah,
while on the run.
While on the run.
When you're running from the cops.
Plogging started in
Pick
Sweden.
up those cans.
Because Sweden is where all plogging starts.
See, there's the damn Swiss again.
Yep.
And we're back.
That's not Swiss. That's Swedish.
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 Yeah, Europe.
Yeah. European, European. Why not?
Did I tell you that I also, too, only completed the 2nd grade?
But have you ever plogged in Sweden?
You ever had a Swedish plug?
What you gonna do to plog?
You plug with your plugs.
Plogging started in Sweden, but has started to pick up followers all over the world based on the many Instagram photos that are popping up with the #plogging hashtag. Plogging has benefit. I just like saying plogging. That's really all this is. Plogging has its benefits beyond the sense of self-satisfaction and apparent smugness that come from making the world a slightly cleaner place. It actually burns more calories than merely jogging.
We got that adrenaline of fear of being caught by the cops. So I'm sure that helps.
Yeah, that you're picking up trash in other people's houses, I guess. Is what the Swedish-based fitness app Lifesum which considers plogging a legitimate exercise, says a 30-minute plog burns around 288 calories compared to 235 calories burned just from jogging. That's because you're carrying a bunch of trash with you. So that stands to reason that you would burn more calories because you're picking up trash and you're carrying trash around as you plog.
Hashtag plogging.
Hashtag plogging. See, I think we now have a title for this section of the
show.
This will
be called plogging.
Plogging camel toes.
Plogging camel toes.
That'll be the title of Michael's comedy album.
Yeah, absolutely. Plogging and camel toes.
Yep. Let me write that down before I forget.
Well, see, that's what we need to
get.
You
always have to do that.
What's your pirate name?
My pirate name is Aylmer the Bard.
Okay.
Aylmer?
Aylmer, Aylmer. It's like Elmer, but with more ale.
Aylmer.
Aylmer the Bard.
Dang it, Aylmer. Sing us a tune. Sing us a tune, Aylmer. That's, I never really thought to ask for his pirate name.
Mm-hmm. Aylmer the Bard.
Does Aylmer have a last name? Or
Aylmer,
the Bard. Aylmer the Bard.
Constantine the Bard of the crew of the Pandemonium.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's a heck of a title.
It's great.
You need to make an acronym out of that.
See, it's such a shame you're not going to be able to make it.
I'm real bummed I'm not going to be able to make it because we had a lot of because now that I'm officially a member of the crew now that I've actually gone to one of the events. That's one of the things in order
you're
to
officially a member of the crew and automatically you're not going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
Or we're talking about the movie thing.
My rite of passage, the rite of passage that all people have to go through at Penzic is the main camp has a boar head hanging on a pillar.
Why wouldn't it?
You have to stand underneath and they pour a shot of vodka on and you have to catch it in your mouth.
And this potbelly pig bacon falls out of the sky.
And then we go plogging.
With our lucky rabbit's feet.
But we don't put our lobsters on ice before we boil them.
Right.
We stun them first.
Right. And you, while you jog, you pick up your lobster carcass.
And they can't fight back because they just do this.
Right.
You know. And plus they got rubber bands on them.
Yeah, that's like a poetry reading. That's all they're doing. That's all lobsters ever do is they snap like they're at a poetry reading. They don't scare me at all.
Cool.
Throw them in boiling water. What do I care?
I'm hungry. They must be boiled.
Exactly. We must boil our lobsters. And, if you kill them first, they're just going to stink beforehand.
And they're not going to be happy.
And they're not going to be happy.
You want to eat a happy lobster?
Yeah, you want to eat a happy, boiling, live lobster. And that's...
Had happy crabs.
Yeah, who hasn't?
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. On that note, I think it's time to take a break to top of the hour. Actually, this will end the first segment of the show. And I guess everybody's going to just stick around. It'll be the same crew, only we'll be joined by Hayward Thompson.
Funnier people.
Coming in. We'll be funnier people than us will come in. And that might be good for a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yep.
Anybody else?
Silence.
All right.
Cue the dead air.
That's what we do here. All right, we're going to take a break, and we will be back.
3, 2, 1.
And here in a bit. Countdown, Scotty.
3,
okay.
2,
we're good.
1.
Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment's Podcast Network. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can always stream the show live at wwsu1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email us at thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
What were we talking about?
You getting your prostate checked.